Hi everyone, and you are welcome to this lecture, Python Tuples. In this lecture, we are going to learn about another data structure in Python, which is tuple. So I will start by defining what a tuple is, then I am going to compare between tuple and list, then we will learn how we can create a tuple and what are the operators that can be used with tuple. Then we will move to learn about accessing to tuple contents, how we can slice a tuple in order to get a subtuple. We will learn about some useful tuple functions, and I will end up this lecture by a quick summary. So let's get started. Let me start by defining what a tuple is. Tuple is a sequence of items, and this item could be a number, a string, another tuple, a list, or any other supported object in Python. Let's see now the details of the tuple. First of all, the syntax. In order to define a tuple, you have to use parentheses, as you see here. For the tuple attributes, we have to know that tuple is ordered collection, which means each item has its own and fixed location. Tuple is an immutable data structure, which means once you create a tuple, you cannot update its content. Tuple is an index data structure, and it supports both positive and negative indexing in order to get access to each individual item in the tuple. And also you have to know that tuple supports slicing, and we can get or extract a subtuple from the tuple using positive indexes and negative indexes also. As you can see that tuple is very similar to Python lists. So let me compare between tuple and list. The major difference between the list and the tuple is that the tuple is immutable, whereas the list is immutable. So I can say they are the same exactly, except this point, which is immutability. Therefore, the tuple works as read-only memory. The best example about tuple is when we want to load identity data. And tuple is the best data structure for that, because usually identity data is not going to be changed, and we use it as read-only data. And even if you try to change this data inside your program, the tuple will throw an exception and will prevent this data from changing. Now let's move to PyCharm IDE in order to see some real examples about Python tuples. The first thing that I want to show you is how we can create a tuple. So I will define a variable, tuple, and I will set the values, which are 1, 2, s for example. Now let me show you what the contents are and what the type is of this variable if I run. As you see here, when I print, I get this tuple and it's from the type tuple. So it's very easy, just use parentheses to create a tuple. Now let's see the operators that can be used with tuples. Let me assume I have the following two tuples. The first one, tuple 1, which is 1, 2, 3, and the second one, tuple 2, which is 4, 5, 6. The first operator that I want to talk about is concatenation. So let me say tup equal to tuple 1 plus tuple 2, and then I will print tuple. Run. As you see here, I get a new tuple, has all the items from the first tuple and the second tuples. So plus in context of two tuples works as a concatenation operator. Now, tuple also supports concat and assignment. So let me show you the following. If I say tuple 1 plus equal tuple 2, and then I print tuple 1, run. As you see here, tuple 1 value has been changed, and now it's the values of original tuple concatenated with the values of the second tuple. So plus and equal sign works as concatenation and assign operator. Now let's talk about repetition operator. Let me say tuple equal to tuple 1 multiplied by 5, and then I will print tuple and I will run. As you see, I get tuple 1 is repeated 5 times, because asterisk operator in context of tuples work as a repetition operator. And also you have to know that tuple supports repetition and assign. So if I put asterisk equal and then I put 5 here, then I print and run. As you see now, I get the first tuple is repeated 5 times, but you have to know that tuple 1 value is updated. So now here I am printing tuple 1. So asterisk and equal work as repeat and assign. The last two operators that I want to talk about are in and not in, which are known as membership operators. So if I say result equal to 1 in tuple 1 and I print result, then I run. As you see here, I got true. Why true? Because n is a membership operator, helps me to know if the value that I have is available inside the tuple. So here I'm asking, is 1 available inside tuple 1? And the answer is true because 1, it's available here and it's the first item. If I put here now not in and I print the result, I will get false. Why false? Because not in helps me to answer the following question. Is the value that I care about, which is in this case 1, is not available inside tuple 1? No, it's available. So in this case, I got false. So you can say in, it's the opposite of not in and vice versa. And that's all about the operators that can be used with Python tuples. Now let's see how we can access to a tuple content. Assume I have tuple 1 and I want to extract the first item. Because tuples in Python are index data structure, so I can use positive or negative indexes in order to get access to each individual item. So if I say item equal to tuple 1 and then I put here, for example, 1 and then I print item, run. As you see here, I got 2. Why 2? In Python, we count from 0. So 0, 1. So the item in the second location is 2, so I got 2 in this case. Also, don't forget that Python support negative indexes, so I can put minus here. And in this case, I count from the end of the tuple, so this is -1, -2, -3. And if there are more items, I will keep counting -4, -5, and so on. In this case, -1 represents the last item in the tuple, and if I print, I will get 3 in this case. Now let's see how we can use slicing in tuples in order to extract a subtuple from our tuple. Don't forget that in case of passing a single index, I am extracting one item from the tuple. Whereas when I am using slicing, I am extracting a subtuple, which is in another word, another tuple from the original tuple. Now let me put here 4, 5, 6. And I want to extract the item 1, 2, 3. In this case, I will say 0, 2, 3. When I say 0 to 3, this will give me the item 0, 1, and 2. Don't forget that 3 is not included. So we say from start to the end -1. And here I will call it subtuple, and then I will print it. And as you see, the result is 1, 2, 3. Also, Python supports negative indexes for slicing. So I will say from -3, for example, to -1. This means give me the element from -3, which is 4 in this case, into -1, -1, which is 5 in this case. Don't forget from start to stop, -1. So if I run in this case, I will get only 4 and 5. And that's all about indexing and slicing for the case of tuple. Now let's see some functions that usually can be used with tuples. So assume I have the following tuple, tuple 1 equal to 1, 2, 3. Now, if you want to know how many items we have in a tuple, I will use the function len, which will take object, in this case it could be a tuple, and return an integer value. And this value is how many items a tuple has. Let's try an example. So I will say result equal to len tuple 1, which is in this case has 3 items. And then I will print the tuple len. Run. So as you see, I get the tuple length is 3. Now, if you want to find the maximum value of a tuple, you have to use max function. And this max function takes an iterable as an argument, and it returns a value which could be integer or float according to the maximum value inside the tuple itself. So if I say result equal to max tuple 1, and then I print the result, as you see, I get 3. Why 3? Because it's the maximum value inside the tuple. The other function, which is similar to max, which takes the same argument, but it returns in this case the minimum value, it's min function. So min helps me to know the minimum value inside a tuple. And in this case, if I say result equal to min tuple 1 and then I print the result, as you see here, the minimum value is 1, so I will get 1 in this case. The last function that I want to talk about is the function sum, and it's a useful function in order to know the sum of all items of a tuple. This function takes an iterable, which could be a tuple in this case, and return a value which is integer or float according to some value. So let's see an example. Result equal to sum tuple 1, and if I print the sum of tuple is a result and then run, I will get 6. Why 6? Because 1 plus 2 plus 3 equal to 6. And that's all about this code session. Now let's recap what we have learned in this lecture. First of all, I have defined a tuple, and we see it's a sequence of items, and the item could be of any type available in Python, like number, string, and so on. We see that the tuple works as a read-only memory because tuple is immutable. We see that if we want to create a tuple, we have to use parentheses. Tuple is ordered data structure, it's immutable, it's indexed data structure, and it supports slicing. Please, I want you to refer to Python Tuples appendix, in which you will find all the functions and operators in this lecture have been summarized. Also, please refer to Python Tuples challenges in order to find some exercises to practice what you have learned in this lecture. Thank you very much for your time, and if you are available, join me in the next lecture.